Alhamdu wa shukr li waliyya wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyah. Today, inshallah, in this video, we'll be talking on what a person should do on Eid and what a person should try to stay away from on Eid day. So what is Eid anyway? The Prophet ﷺ, when he came to Madinah Munawwarah, he saw the people celebrating. So he said to them, what is this? So they mentioned that in the time of Jahiliyyah, in the time of ignorance, we had these days of celebration. So the Prophet ﷺ said that no, every nation has an Eid. وَهَذَا عِيدُنَا, this is our Eid, and our Eid is Yawm al-Fitr, the small Eid, and Eid al-Adha, which we know as the big Eid. So what does a person do on Eid, and what is the purpose of Eid? So Eid al-Fitr is a time for a person to show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For a month we have not been eating our food, we have been staying away from food and drink and all of the things that a man and a woman need. We are staying away from this. We are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala late into the night. We are giving extra in charity. We are striving in goodness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are exerting ourselves. We are pushing ourselves physically. Now this day is for us to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has allowed us to have a break from this. We are going to have a break now for 11 months before we have to do this again. It is a day to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us a break, and secondly to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to worship Him in this blessed month. So when it comes to the day of Eid, a person, every individual should look at himself and see what is he doing on Eid. Is he thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is he being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or is he using the Eid day, or is she using the Eid day as a way of welcoming back shaitan? Because we know in Ramadan, the shayateen, the devils are locked up. Now when the Eid day starts, which is after Maghrib on the last day of Ramadan, when the Eid day starts, the shayateen are released. So for a person to start doing haram, and for a person to go away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to leave all of those good things that he picked up in Ramadan, in a way he's doing a welcome party for shaitan, if you like. He's doing a welcome party for shaitan, that you have been away for 30 days, we have been worshipping Allah, we have stayed away from haram, but now you are back, we are going to start doing this haram again. So a clever person, not just a Muslim, a clever person, any person with a bit of common sense will think to himself, 30 days I have worked so hard to train myself up to be a better person, and now to blow it away in one night or in 2 nights, or to blow it all the way outside of Ramadan, after Ramadan, is a definite sign of foolishness. So a Muslim is one who shows gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the biggest form of gratitude is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is common to see in our localities on the day of Eid, the masajid are empty, the mosques are empty, and it is common to see those people who spent the month of Ramadan maybe playing Quran in their car. You could hear the Quran recitation. Then on the day of Eid or the night before Eid, the Quran recitation turns to music. And those people who stayed outside of Ramadan, throughout the whole of Ramadan, there was no swearing, no backbiting, no lying, and they start to do this on the day, as soon as Eid night, as soon as Eid is announced in the masjid. So it's very important that we do not waste what we have done. As I mentioned in the last video, if there's a person who goes to the gym and he trains himself up to become a bodybuilder and he's entering some competition, etc., and after he does all of this, he lets his body go, he starts to eat junk food, he stops going to the gym, he stops working out, then he will definitely be seen as a foolish person, that he tried hard for years and years, he did all this and now he's letting it go. So about the person who tries in the whole of month of Ramadan to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get himself into Jannah, to free himself from the fire of hell, to get away from shaitan, and he wastes it all in one moment of madness, in one night of madness. So a Muslim is one who does not do this. Rather, a Muslim uses the day of Eid actually to get even closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He thanks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing him to fast in Ramadan. He thanks Allah for allowing him to worship in Ramadan. And he uses the day of Eid to also worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because, for example, just one example, the salah that we pray 5 times a day, it is fard every single day. Nobody has said, no Quran ayah will you find, no hadith will you find, no fatwa will you find, that there is no salah on Eid day, that a person, there is Eid salah and then the rest of the salah is gone. No, a person has to pray salah 5 times a day. This fard is always there. So that's the first thing. The first thing a person can do on the day of Eid to ensure that he is still active on the commands of Allah is to continue to pray salah in the masjid with the imam. This will stop him from evil, because he will not have the chance. He wants to go outside with his friends to do something evil, but he knows that he needs to go to the masjid to pray salah. So these are just a few points I thought I'd like to mention for the youngsters, especially when it comes to this blessed day, that not to waste, not to throw everything down the drain what we did in Ramadan. Now, what does a person do on the day of Eid? What are the sunnah? What is the tariqah? What is the method? How should a person act on the day of Eid? So the first, the person rises and he prays Fajr Salah. Then when he's getting ready for Eid Salah, he should wash himself, he should clean himself, he should perfume himself, he should wear his best clothes. Not necessarily brand new clothes or clothes that he's paid hundreds of pounds for. His best clothes, maybe if his best clothes by coincidence are his new ones, that is fine. he should wear his best clothes. Then before he sets off for the Eid Salah, he should eat some dates. This is for Eid al-Fitr. This is regarding small Eid. The ruling for big Eid or Eid al-Adha is different. For Eid al-Fitr, a person should eat some dates before he goes out to the masjid or before he goes out to the area where the Eid Salah will be performed. On the way to the Eid Salah, he should say the takbir, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. He should recite this as much as he can until he gets to the masjid, and while before the Imam comes out for the khutbah, he should carry on reciting this until the Imam comes out. Likewise, a person who is going towards the Eid Salah, if he sees the people on the way to Eid Salah and also after Eid Salah, he can congratulate them for Eid. This can be found in the Sunnah, it can be found in the aqwal of the Salaf, in the sayings of the Salaf and in their lives, that they would congratulate each other when they would see each other on the day of Eid. So you can say Eid Mubarak, or you can say Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. These things are all correct. So a person should be congratulating each other on this auspicious day. Likewise, after the Eid Salah and the khutbah, when a person is returning, he should return from a different route. And the scholars mention, so this is so, both routes, the route that he took to the masjid and the route he takes coming back, both of them can testify for that person on the day of judgment. So, and this way, likewise, the Eid day is a day a person spends with his family. You know, he can go with his friends. He has the whole year to go out with his friends and eat with his friends and have a good time with his friends. The day of Eid should be the day where the families get together. It's a day where cousins come over. It's a day when the family celebrate together. The children come, the children are given presents, etc. And just another point I thought I'd mention for parents is, with a lot of parents complain that their children want Christmas presents, or they ask, you know, why is Eid so boring? Because children do say, why is Eid so boring? You know, our friend who celebrates Christmas gets a Christmas tree and they get Christmas presents and they get Christmas cards, etc. Why is Eid so boring? So there is nothing wrong with getting children Eid cards, getting them Eid presents to actually decorate the house, you know, balloons here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you go to the Muslim countries, if you go to the Middle East, etc., to Egypt, Saudi Arabia, these other countries, you will see that before Eid and even Ramadan, the marketplaces and the shops, everything is decorated as a means of celebrating Ramadan and of celebrating Eid. So parents should do this and get their children presents for Eid, spend some time with their children, spend some money on the children. This way the children will also look forward to Eid and they will not be too worried about their friends celebrating Christmas and why they don't get anything for Christmas, etc. So these are just a few points I thought I'd like to mention, and just in advance, Eid Mubarak. Jazakumullah khair.